Welcome to the Stoney Love Atlanta Morning Show. Real people, real news, your views, and my opinion. Welcome to the Stoney Love Atlanta Morning Show. I am your host, Stoney Love, and today I have with me as my co-host, actor Ron Godfrey. How are you today, Ron?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's definitely my pleasure. And I want to start off the show today with a quote for this Saturday. There is no place like home. And as you know, we all have been ordered to stay there for the last few weeks. Is that not right?
Right.
Now, how do you feel, Ron, that you're now out of quarantine?
Well, it feels good to be able to get out. But staying home wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
And as an actor, please share with me, because now you're just not any old actor. You are, you're up and coming, as we all know. You have played on some BET as well, Netflix movies.
I have.
You've pretty much everywhere. You're making a great name for yourself.
Well, I'm trying. Yes, I have been on BET, American Soul, and some other productions. If Loving You Is Wrong, come Sunday on Netflix, and it's been a great experience.
Now, when you're going up for these roles, are these roles that you would have chosen for yourself, or you go ahead and just say, you know what, here's an opportunity, I'm going to take it? Or is this something that, like with your last role that you just had with Come Sunday, tell us a little bit about that with Netflix.
Actually, I did Come Sunday, I want to say about 2 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. My most recent project was, I want to say, American Soul.
Okay.
On BET. And it was a great experience. I got to meet Robert Townsend.
Yes, he's an awesome director.
He's awesome. He directed my scene that I was in. I was the piano player in the bar scene. And so that was a great experience.
So will there be more of American Soul coming for you? Because it sounds like that's almost one of your favorites, possibly.
It's one of my favorites. I just have to wait on the phone to ring, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, you're very talented. I don't see that you're going to be out of work for long.
No,
maybe.
I don't think so.
Yes. And so another thing, you have other things as an actor that you do, and other entrepreneur positions that you have.
Well,
I know that thing that you have on Facebook. Tell everybody about that.
What are you talking about?
The Paparazzi.
Oh, here we go.
Come on.
Yes.
Tell everybody about how you go live at night.
I go live at night. I'm an independent consultant for Paparazzi Jewelry as well. And I go live every night between 9 and 10 p.m. And it's a party. It's a party.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of the women just come in and they just they love it. And I'll be sitting back watching.
Do you?
Yeah,
You stalking?
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. You giving everybody a shout out, and then you see me in the room and you go, hey, Stoney. I'd be like,
I get.
And then I disappear again.
Well, I get a kick out of it. Since I haven't been able to be on set or on stage, I just take my acting ability and just implement it in my sales. So.
Well, you have some very nice pieces. I went on your website. I'm so tired most of the time. So as I scroll through to be able to buy something, I fall asleep. Mm-hmm. As you know. Anybody who knows me knows I'm like, catch me while you can, because I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So you have some very nice pieces that I do plan to buy. I plan to order. So tell everybody also how they can look on your website and order some of these pieces. Now, if we order multiple pieces, do we get discounts for your... Or no?
Oh, yeah, we can always work something out.
Okay.
But you go on my website. My website is www.therongodfreycollection.com, and shop till you drop.
All right. Well, I definitely going to keep supporting you on that.
Thank you.
And definitely keep up the good work. I'm very, very, very proud of you. I've had a chance to slightly interview you before a couple of years ago on the Stoney Love Morning Show. And at that time, you were doing the Medea. Was it the Medea funeral?
No.
You just finished.
No, we wasn't doing that. I don't think we were doing that. I think we were doing If Loving You Was Wrong. I think I was doing that. It's been a while.
I know.
I'm getting older. I forget. I've done so much.
So you're frequent in the Tyler Perry family.
I've done 3 projects with Tyler Perry.
Okay.
And like I said, I've done other things. I've done Star, like I said, American Soul, and I have several stage plays that I've done.
Yes.
So I'm lined up for 3 now. So we're just waiting on COVID-19 to get out of the way, so we can go ahead and reschedule everything and get rolling.
Now, speaking of COVID-19, this has been a year of everybody waited for 2020 to come in. It was just change. And I studied numerology, so 20 and 20 is 40.
Oh, boy.
4 means stability.
Yes.
That means everything was going to be stable. But it has been the opposite.
Yeah,
it has definitely been where 2020 has been a rocket of just disaster.
Right.
Changes from the home, relationships, health-wise, jobs. Everything is uncertain.
Yeah.
So, do you feel that COVID-19 is under wraps, or do you feel like it's lurking and it's going to give us another round for the winter?
I personally think that COVID-19 is getting ready to show its ugly head in the worst kind of way.
I do too.
It has really been life-changing for everybody. The numbers are going up daily. Mm-hmm. I know in the state that I live in, which is South Carolina, daily the numbers are rising. And just the other day, the numbers doubled.
Wow.
And yeah, the number of new cases doubled. The death toll has gone up, and so it's just it's a disaster. It's a disaster. My opinion, I think some things opened up a little bit too soon. I understand we want to get the economy going. People want to get back to work.
Yes.
They got families to support, and I'm all for that. But I want to live too. And
sure.
I think with the beaches and different things opening up, and people not taking precaution, it has caused some problems.
I definitely agree with you on that. Especially, we're in day 8 of protests.
Yeah.
Rest easy, George Floyd.
Yes, yes.
He really, really, really set the world on fire.
Yes, he did.
And he has unified the American nation and around the world. And when I'm saying France, Italy, Africa, and all of us here who has had enough. And so, with saying that, with everybody forgetting about the 6 feet apart and the safe distancing rules, we just all came together because we had enough.
Right.
And so, with saying that, I feel that there are going to be some infectious repercussions, as you have said.
Yeah.
Now, with us being in day 8 of the, let's shift it here. With us being in day 8 of the protest, you as a Black African American man, how did this impact you emotionally? Because as a woman, it tore me to pieces. Mm-hmm. I sat and I watched the video from the beginning to the end. And then I watched the other portion of it where the young lady had the aftermath after the death. And how after his lifeless body, they just threw him like he was an animal on the stretcher. You as a African American male, and how has this impacted and has it affected you after watching that video?
Truthfully, I have to say that it has had a great impact on me. I thought about not only myself, I thought about my sons. My youngest son is 4 years old.
Yes.
And so I thought about him and his upbringing in this society that we live in and everything like that. And to watch that video, to watch how Mr. Floyd was handled from the time that the policeman had his knee on his neck to the time that he was placed on a gurney by people that were not EMTs. that was very alarming, So really, he received no medical attention at the scene. That was very disturbing, and so I just said, Lord, please protect me, protect my sons, and just protect us all.
Your son is 4. If he was 17 and was driving a car today, what would you tell your son as he leave the house? What would be your preparation for a young African American young man if he has encountered the police?
I would tell my son, listen, son, if you for any reason get stopped by the police, keep your hands where he can see them.
Wow.
Keep your hands where he can see them. Don't escalate your voice. Don't start cursing at him. Just do what he asks. Be polite, even if he's being, rough with you or whatever, because you have some that just don't care.
Right, that is true.
They don't care. So first of all, I want you to keep your hands
where they can
be seen. Because
right.
if you move your hand and look like, if you're just going to get your registration or whatever, and
right.
you have to dig down into something, they're going to take that as if you're reaching for a weapon.
Now, I have a 27-year-old son and a 23-year-old son, which terrifies me greatly that they are driving and they look like the stereotype of troublemakers. I have one that has dreads, and then I have one that has an afro, and he's the Hendrix style type of kid. Okay, he's just, and so I always worry about them encountering the police. But my advice to them is to do not at any time change your voice or demeanor with them.
Right.
At all times, yes, sir, may I, or do you mind if I reach for, or could you possibly reach for my license? It's in the dashboard. Allow the officer to reach himself. That way you're showing them that you are non-threat.
Right.
And even if you know that you have a warrant, it's not that serious, it's not murder. Go ahead, be taken into custody, handle the situation, and so you can come out. Don't run. Because at that moment when you run, they're gonna say, well, he ran, I have a reason to pursue and to kill.
Right.
So I have, with my boys, when I looked at that video and I looked at everything that was going on and that is still going on in America right now, our children, those millennium kids has had enough.
Right.
When I woke up the other day, it was like waking up into 1920, and I think I said that on my social media page, that it feels like it's 1920, and I don't even know what it was like in 1920. But to have so much hatred against our African American men for no apparent reason at all, for nothing, and you guys have been oppressed for so many years, and that's meaning from receiving education,
right.
receiving, being acknowledged for things that you can and cannot do. And
right.
African Americans have also had so many great inventions that we are not even accredited for.
Right.
Just like the cell phone.
Right.
African American
Exactly.
invented that.
Exactly.
So it's so many things. The red light. We have done so many wonderful things in the world, and we have given so much to the world, that we are today in today's society still not recognized, because we are. The other guys are intimidated by you guys.
Of course. Nothing but intimidation.
Right. And so when you are afraid of something, you try to belittle it, bring it down to make it to nothing so that you can become greater than.
Right.
So you guys long ago, and 400 years ago, were never seen as an equal. And kind of let me go off the subject of the protests. I stated something this morning on my Facebook page where I said that the reason why black men are hated so much by the Englishmen, and meaning the other men, is because so many years ago, you guys are well endowed. And I'm not saying that as being, nasty or anything, but I'm just saying that's a threat to the other men. Your physique is strong, and it's proudful. And that's how you've always stood, even as a slave. So if you look at some of the pictures and things, and the white women love and adore the black men.
Right.
So this is why the black men are hated, because of what's in his pants and what's in his heart. So he is hated by the white men so much because God didn't give those things to them in that capacity. So no matter, even when you were stripped of all of everything, you still had heart, and you still had that, and you still was a man in your home. Even though you were a slave who couldn't read or write, you still was the man of your house. So then when they figured that out, okay, you're no longer a slave, now they find other ways to get you from now. We're still in slavery, the black man, and now even the black woman. Because, yes, that's another thing. Because when they took the black man out of the home, they thought that it was going to destroy the African-American home. So that's when, of course, welfare and all of that was created, to keep the women oppressed in a certain bracket of income. So they built the projects. It's like they were always giving you something, but giving you a little bit, but you were still in slavery. So even though you received government benefits, even though you lived in the housing, and your father was in prison, possibly for something he did not do, or he was killed by the police, they had to take the male out of the home to destroy the home.
But it didn't.
It didn't.
No.
So when they figured that it wasn't going to destroy the home because the women was becoming the stronger person in the house, there is a mass incarceration of black women now in prison because of this now. So now we're in a new era of slavery. So we have been fighting different eras of slavery since 400 years because they are intimidated by our strength. No matter what we've gone through, we have found a way to come through it. And to endure and say, you know, this is, we're gonna make do with what we have. We're gonna make do with this little food. We're gonna be okay. And then, so out of the birth of those housing projects and food stamps came doctors and lawyers and football players.
Of course.
And they're like, wait a minute. This is what come out of this? Because the mothers are strong. She's like, get your education. Don't be like your father. Your father is doing time in jail. He was a drug dealer. He was this. He was not that. So you need to focus and focus and focus. So out of the birth of that, she gave birth to a Kobe Bryant, a Michael Jordan, a Ben Carson, which isn't really black. But anyway. But I'm just saying. But a doctor. So, and now we're killing these young men because now they're saying, wait a minute, you still gonna outdo us? You still gonna come out of all of that? So now they take the woman out of the home. The kids are trying to raise themselves. Kids have mental issues. They're on the street. But you got some that still come through that.
Still come through that, right.
So now you're just outright killing us in broad daylight like we're animals. Now enough is enough.
They have no conscience. It doesn't even matter anymore whether it's daylight or nighttime. It doesn't matter.
Let's look at Ahmaud Arbery. Did you see that case?
Yes, I did.
The men that were arrested in that case, did you see their eyes? The eyes are the window to the soul. The hatred in that man's eyes, like he's about to burst.
When I saw that video, I couldn't believe what I was looking at.
He was hunted like a deer.
The man was jogging, minding his business through a neighborhood, and they even arrested the guy that
gave the footage,
did the video, because it was all a setup. It was all a setup. But for them to kill him in broad daylight. Like you said, they were hunting a deer or something.
That's how they come at him, yes.
It was unbelievable. And then here you go with George Floyd.
Yes.
Broad daylight, the man is gasping for air, telling you, I can't breathe. You have other law enforcement officers on the other side of the vehicle holding them down.
Yes.
Holding them down. And for what? You already had him cuffed. So he's no more a threat once you have him cuffed.
Right. I always tell people this, it's not enough until white people say it's enough. That's when it stops. So people are hearing it now, because now joining forces with African American and Latinos are white America saying stop it.
And what I found interesting was it spread beyond our country. Over in London, Germany, they were having peaceful protests over there.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow. That really had an impact.
It really did, because America, the nation, has had enough.
Right.
When do you look at all of us as equality? When do you look at us, Black America, as an equal?
Right.
Not because what's in our heart or in our pants. Stop trying to demoralize us.
Right.
Make us have less than you. Make us lower than you. We are an equal. We all bleed red. A lot of us may not know it. When they have blood transfusions, the Red Cross doesn't put black man O, white man RH. They just put O positive RH. It's gone. So there's a white man in the hospital right now who needs a transfusion, and he probably got Ron Godfrey, who just went down, and he's O positive.
There you go.
And so there you have a black man's blood that is red running through your vein, but God is giving you another chance to live again. So we have to start looking at this thing as equality, because when we get in line for heaven, there is no black line or white line.
There isn't. It's one line.
It's one line.
Yep. Yep.
And so it's just amazing that people have been taught to hate. That is a condition that is learned.
It's learned, exactly.
And that is something that has been taught from generation to generation. That white privilege is what it, that they have that. And some use it to their good and some use it to their bad. I love everybody.
Of course.
Can't be the Stoney Love Show if I don't. So what I'm saying is you must love. Hatred sends you to your grave.
Quickly.
Yes. Because do you know that when you hate, it affects the heart? Those are emotions.
Of course. Of course.
Do you think every time I see a white man, I want to go, I don't like him? That is just so much energy. I want to be able to say, hello there, my brother. How are you today?
Exactly.
Greet him with a hug. I went to a very diverse school. I learned a lot. All of my teachers were Caucasian. So this was in the 80s. So this was Sarah Smith Elementary. Shout out to all of my teachers there. And I graduated from Northside High School in 1991, which is a performing arts school here in Atlanta, but it's also diverse.
Okay.
But I didn't experience what we're experiencing today.
Right.
We all got together and we sat on the steps at school. We ran together.
Right.
We combed each other's hair. Your hair is thicker than mine. Oh, yours is thicker than mine.
Nothing like it is now.
Right. So it was nothing like it is today. So that's why I said 1920, like really? And I do believe, I'm shifting again, Trump has a lot to do with the mindset of the people that has decided to come out and say, he supports what we're doing, supports white power. So we're going to do this. We're going to act out. And we're going to be protected.
Yeah, I think it's pretty bad when number 45 comes out and says, if they start looting, you start shooting.
Well, then that was most of the white people.
That's
that's who we're looting.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So
that's
did he not see that?
It's unbelievable. I mean, just to have not only just a public figure, but the President of the United States to say half of the things that he has said in the past and now, I can't see I was having this discussion one day. I can't see how that this election even came about with someone that had no political background of any kind, you know.
Well, believe it or not, that's when at the time that he was becoming in office, that was the time I started doing a lot of my videos and was discovered on Facebook. And I slightly mentioned that if you vote for President Trump, that the world was going to be like a hurricane. And I said that based off of his analogy and me looking at him as a Gemini man. Those type of people they're 2 in 1 as it is.
Right.
God created, it's 2 people in there.
Right.
So they're at turmoil within themselves. That's very scary.
That's scary.
To wake up every day and be at war with yourself, but then to have the power to have people at war with each other.
Right.
And you can do that because of power now.
Right.
But before, you were the powerless billionaire that people looked up to, and everybody thought you were going to make America great again and America rich. That was not going to happen. Everybody was not going to become rich.
No.
So people being idiotic, and the only people that voted for him were the older Caucasian women. Now they see the light. So now he's aiming towards us.
Yeah.
He almost had us until the COVID-19. And he was releasing a lot of African American men. Did you see that part?
I didn't. I didn't see that.
Okay. Well, there was a massive release of African American men that were being released from prison by Trump.
Really?
And he was pardoning a lot of African American people that had needed some help from the law that couldn't get it.
Okay.
And so that's when you saw a massive of African American people, my president, woo. And now, here we are. They're like, wait a minute, you know. So I want people to know that November is coming.
Yeah.
We need to vote so that we can change.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
A lot of people, and it was African American who did not vote. And that is how we ended up with this guy and not Hillary Clinton. And I know that people may say, well, Hillary Clinton wasn't the best of the barrel. However, she was familiar with the treaties and the country, and she was familiar with making peace with other countries.
Exactly.
So you wanted to kind of keep that going instead of, as soon as you get in the house, you want to start a fight and a war with Russia and China. Not Russia, because those are his friends.
Right.
With China. And so, like, oh my God, do you know how big those missiles are? But, I mean, you have to be mindful of the perception that you see of people and wanting something of them that they can't give you.
Right.
Because everything that he has promised the United States has been the exact opposite.
Exactly.
He has demoralized and humiliated black women, reporters, Chinese women.
Of course. Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
White women.
I've seen that.
And he's even was mean to his own wife.
Yeah, I've seen that. And the thing about it is, he's being held up in his wrong. He's being held. No one is actually, facing him head on, especially from his party.
Right.
Especially from his own party. And they know that he's dead wrong. They know that everything he's doing is totally against Constitution, everything like that.
And I'm laughing listening to you because just after the COVID-19, he suggested drinking bleach.
Man, listen.
And I'm like,
drink
and
bleach.
somebody, somebody did that, and of course they died. God rest her soul. But
why didn't he try it?
I don't know.
Maybe that's wrong to say. I'm sorry.
I know, but I'm
listen,
saying.
I mean, really.
But you
if
suggested.
If you're going to make the suggestion, then won't you be the first partaker?
Right,
to show us that drinking Clorox
really
is going to work
for COVID-19.
Come on.
All right, so these are the idiotic things that has gone on in the past 4 years, and as we are addressing election, and you just watch what's going to happen. And we're going to look back at this video, guys, in November, because the polls are going to be closed. You're going to have to mail in.
Got to mail everything in.
You're going to have to mail in. So there goes tampering with the mail they're going to do. So get ready to put your vote in via mail. They just texted me the other day and asked me if I had my mail ballots ready.
You know what's going to happen?
What?
If 45 gets reelected, we are going to see 4 more years of just chaos.
Oh yeah, this
Big
is
time.
If we get him for another 4 years, prepare for martial law.
Oh yeah.
We've already practiced for that.
Yep.
More police brutality.
Yep.
It's just going to go.
It's going to escalate.
More of our young people are going to start, and the gun sales have already started to
Probably triple.
increase. Yes, there was a line at the gun store just recently, and so and that's just all over the country.
Yeah.
People are doing that. So we have a lot of angry people, a lot of people who are done talking and now they just want to shoot. I don't want to be in the midst of those people,
Right.
because I am a peaceful partaker.
Yeah.
I am a communicator, and I love to listen to people. So if everybody just start getting their guns and start shooting, and if the stores keep closing early, people don't have jobs, soon people are going to start breaking into people's homes.
Exactly.
And stealing food, because after a while, food is going to be scarce.
It's becoming that way now.
It's becoming that way now. So we have him for another 4 years. These
It's a
are the
wrap.
things that are
It's a wrap.
possibly that are going to happen.
It's a wrap.
So I tell you, COVID-19 and this protesting has definitely been.
And the racial profiling has gone out of the. I mean, it's just through the roof. I was looking at something. I think it was on Instagram, where these cops tried to detain this black man. I think he was from Sudan, because he fit the description of someone that they were looking for. Well, turns out that this man that they detained was actually an FBI agent from Sudan.
Wow.
And when they pulled out his ID, they had to release him. And he immediately called for the supervisor, and the supervisor, he didn't come and say, well, we're sorry, nothing like that. He just, said, well, okay, well, just go ahead and have a nice day and all this kind of stuff. And of course, the FBI agent was, saying some choice words that I can't repeat. But
Right.
it's crazy. I just thought that was funny how, you're sitting here going off what somebody said. You don't have a picture or anything to match up to.
Now,
That's crazy.
that is, and a lot of that is going on around the world. My question to you is, had we stopped this at George Zimmerman, let's go back to Rodney King. Had we stopped this at Rodney King, would we have been here today? If we had rioted, we wouldn't say peacefully protest, and made a stance in 1991, would we be having this conversation in 2020?
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Because we didn't think we was going to be having it now.
That's true.
We didn't know any of this was going to happen. We saw it brewing.
Right.
We saw things leading up to it. But it just hit the fan when Mr. Floyd passed. With what happened to him, it just took everything to another level.
Now, we have a lot of, I'll say media journalists that are coming out, or just media, stating that Mr. Floyd was a criminal. Who cares? We can't do anything about his past because he was robbed of his future. So there's nothing to say about what he did yesterday. He still
everybody
didn't
has
deserve
a past,
that.
though. Stoney.
That's true.
Everybody has a
Because I have
past.
one. That's true.
Okay?
Yeah.
He was not committing a criminal act
Right.
at the time.
And that was a lie. They said that he was in the store. The three brothers that owned the store, I'm not sure if they were Arab or Indian or whatever they were. They said that he was passing a $20 bill that appeared to be counterfeit. Appeared to be. So I watched the CNN video of that. Now, at any time, I can go over here at Burger King and exchange a $100 bill, and you give me two 20s that are counterfeit and the other two that are regular.
Right.
So I don't know, if I'm not a criminal, that these are not real.
Right.
So I go down here to Piggly Wiggly and buy some groceries, and then the next thing that I know, they're saying, hey, you, come here. You just passed a counterfeit bill over in Piggly Wiggly. No, I didn't. because I legitimately got change or bought something from Burger King.
Right.
Burger King didn't check their money, and they gave me a counterfeit bill.
So you had no way of knowing.
I had no way of knowing. So I wasn't doing this intentionally.
Right.
But now the police has me backed up in the corner, and now I'm dead because you thought I had a $20 bill that wasn't even counterfeit. Because you don't even know. So all I'm saying is, when does it stop that everything that a black man does or is doing or is thinking is mischievous? In New Orleans, there's 54% of the black men unemployed.
Wow.
That leads for trouble.
It does. It does. It does.
That's in New Orleans, and I don't know what the count is here in Georgia. I haven't done my research, but I will for the next show, and I'll be talking about that. So I'm not working for anybody. I don't. I work for myself because I get tired of people asking you, oh, why do you have a gap in your employment history? Where you been for 7 years? Well, why'd you do this? What made you do that? Why?
Yeah.
So I don't care to answer your questions. I don't care for you to know where I've been for 7 years of my life.
Right.
So what I choose to do is work for myself.
That's good.
I have a rideshare company. I am the only African American woman that has her own rideshare company. And I plan to extend it around the world.
That's great.
So when I say I will not, when I wake up in the morning, I wake up for my clients to get them to their job on time. And I do for them. And I feel good about it.
That's awesome.
So I created something for me that I know that will work for me, work for my children, and I get paid every day. And since I've opened my company, I have not been broke a day since.
That's good.
So when you have the ability to do something for yourself, do not allow anyone, Ron, to stop you from moving in the direction that you need to do.
Of course.
Because the society is so full of, oh, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do, girl, ain't nobody gonna do that. Ain't nobody gonna ride. Ain't nobody dollar drive.
Those are haters.
I don't care about
Those are
that.
haters.
I call them fans.
They're haters.
So,
Because they don't have anything going on for themselves.
That's
And
true.
they don't want anything.
That is true.
So you can't expect them to be happy for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and everybody's not going to praise you. Everybody's not going to be, your cheerleader or whatever. But you can't let that stop you. And I tell myself that. Everybody's not going to say, oh yeah, Ron is an actor now. Ron is doing this. I can't let that stop me, because if I do, I'm just as I'm on the same level as they are.
Now, speaking of you being an actor,
Oh no, here we go.
what kind of role would you like
Here we go.
to pursue? Like, what would be your ideal role?
My ideal role. Well,
Gangsta.
I like the detective.
Okay.
I like the detective roles.
Now, you played the detective in, what movie was that?
I played detective in a unreleased film.
Okay.
Right now, it'll be coming out later this year. I am acting alongside of actor Trey Shaney,
Okay.
which plays Kendrick on the Bounce series Saints and Sinners.
Okay.
So he and I are partners, and so he actually thought I was a cop for real when I had my badge on and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. And so, and I also play a detective in another movie that has not yet been released.
Okay.
And this movie actually is about the opioid epidemic.
Oh.
And yeah. That's a big issue too, opioids.
Yeah, that's a drug,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay, because
yeah.
I've heard of that.
So I play a detective whose son dies from an overdose, and I actually come face to face with the drug lord and everything like that. One of his goons knocked me out with his gun, with the butt of his gun and all that kind of stuff, and it actually did hurt while we was
Really?
filming it. So
Wow.
yeah, and so I like the detective roles.
Do you foresee any comedy for you in any comedy movies?
I'm open to it.
Okay.
I'm open to
But
it.
detective, huh?
Yeah, but detective,
We better
judge,
watch out.
attorney, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I could definitely see you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are going to be a lot of upcoming roles available with what all we have had going on. They're probably eager to get to filming and casting.
Yes.
So I'm going to be watching out for that.
They've been doing a lot of virtual stuff, like, as far as casting and, just keeping everybody abreast on everything and, keeping everybody motivated and everything. But I'm ready to get back on set. I'm ready to get back on stage, and just do my thing.
So at what age did you realize that you were ready for the big screen? That was what you want to do, that you were camera ready.
Actually, I never thought of being an actor. I never thought of being an actor. Honestly, back in 2012, I woke up one morning and I said, I'm going to become an actor.
Okay.
And literally 4 to 5 months later, I was on stage performing my first stage play.
Oh, wow.
And it went from there.
So in the stage play, the one that you were in, did you get to sing?
No.
Oh.
That didn't come till later.
Okay.
That didn't come till later.
So you do sing?
Yeah. And I'm not going to sing on air. I'm not singing on air. I'm telling you that now.
No?
Don't ask me to sing. No.
All right. Well, there we have it, folks. So
not this time anyway. Maybe next time.
Okay. Well, so do you feel that, I wanted to ask you too about dating. Okay, I know we weren't going to go there, but, as Atlanta, and I know you're not from Atlanta, but I'm from Atlanta.
Okay.
And it's hard in Atlanta trying to find someone to date that is on the same level as you.
Okay.
So, I just want to ask you this. If you could tell me one thing that a man is looking for when he is choosing, because you guys do the choosing,
Okay.
the woman that he want to spend the rest of his life with, what is that one thing he's looking for? What attribute does that woman need to have?
God.
Okay, well, I'm going to get I'm just kidding. I'm going to get the hell bent out of me. I'm a witch. No, I'm going to do... I'm not a witch, but that's yeah. So she must be a believer.
Gotta be
and a doer of God.
Gotta be a believer. Yeah, gotta
well,
be a believer.
There you have it, folks.
Yes,
Actor Ron Godfrey. Here with me today is my co-host.
Yes.
All the way from
Pleasure.
North Carolina.
South Carolina.
Oh, I'm sorry, South Carolina. Got hit by the bus. I'm sorry. Now tell everybody, Ron, where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook. Just look up Ron Godfrey. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me at I am Ron Godfrey. All one word. I am Ron Godfrey. Look me up now. Look me up. I'm there. Okay.
And what is the name of your website for the paparazzi?
No, that's 3 W's, right?
Yes.
Okay,
www.
I always get www.therongodfreycollection.com. There you go.
Okay, and if you would like to be a guest on the Stoney Love Show, please email me at StoneyLoveATL@gmail.com. And this has been the Stoney Love Atlanta Morning Show. I'm your host, Stoney Love, and I'll see you next Saturday.
Peace.